Hello, I'm Helen Statler. I am your destiny helper. I am here to discuss another topic that many of you have been asking about, but you don't hear a lot about. And we're going to talk about the inverted narcissist. And this is a tremendous topic, and I'm going to do part one. I'll come back at another time and do part two. This particular narcissist, the inverted narcissist, is a narcissist that look for other narcissists because this particular narcissist want to be dominated, want to be tormented, wants extreme approval. They give themselves to extreme vulnerability. And many people think that the inverted narcissist is a weak narcissist. Remember the classification of being a narcissist: the grandiosity, the self-absorbency, and the lack of empathy. They don't care about anybody else. They live in a fantasy world. They make everything seem larger than what it is. Where the inverted narcissist accommodate all of those traits. However, the inverted narcissists seek to be punished, seek suffering, seek extreme approval. Their preference is another narcissist, and they usually would attract a malignant narcissist, psychopath, or sociopathic narcissist to handle the kind of treatment that they need, which is their supply. This treatment that they need becomes their supply. They need the torment, and most of them has been in extreme abuse, extreme sexual abuse. They've been in homes that has been horrific. So this narcissist has a beacon for another narcissist, and they prefer that above all else. They are never satisfied with a normal relationship with an individual. I mean, how normal can you have a relationship with a narcissist? But they don't seek the normal individual because what they need to register is always at an extremity. And so when they are with a regular individual that cares for them, or an empath, they usually are dissatisfied because the empath absorb everything to try to please them. And what they need is somebody who's as vicious as they are, but more vicious, because they take the subservient role when they're with a narcissist. And the narcissist, that malignant narcissist, the sociopathic narcissist, the psychopathic narcissist, picks up on them immediately. And their love bombing is vicious because it's unlike a regular relationship with the narcissist. Love bomb, you find out things about you. Well, once the narcissist picked up that this is an inverted narcissist, they know they need pain because they give out signals. A lot of times they can have scars, and even sexually, they've been scarred. They've been abused tremendously sexually, and show evidence of that abuse. And the malignant narcissist will oblige them tremendously. And a lot of them prefer the greater narcissist or the lower narcissist because of the violence. The lower narcissist is impulsive, and before you know it, the lower narcissist, they're into a full physical altercation, and you're wondering where did they come from, but they get relief. And like the lower narcissists get relief from the violent, the inverted narcissist gets sexual climatic escapades from the violence, and they have to be humiliated. And whatever that narcissist requires, even if that narcissist is a square, but the inverted narcissist is a circle, they will push themselves until what keeps them a square is torn off, and they fit into that circle. And they are usually very intelligent, and they are great schemers, because many of them, you think they feel, but they don't feel. They're past feeling. They don't feel love. So you got two narcissists in a relationship. They sometimes can marry each other and they don't feel love. They feel supply. The inverted narcissist needs the pain. That's their supply. The malignant, the sociopath, or the psychopath need the energy of the torment of that vessel doing whatever they want them to do. And the thing about a narcissist, even if you did everything the narcissist wanted you to do, the narcissist will soon grow tired of it because you don't give them any play. Whatever they want, you give it to them. There is no opposition. You conform to what they want. Now, the inverted narcissist, once they don't pick up that energy, you're not giving them their energy, they still a narcissist. They will triangulate. They will leave you. They must have the pain. They must have the torture. These are the ones that put the hooks in their back and they are hanging from the ceiling. And when they put those hooks under the skin and it pulls their skin and they swing back and forth, that gives them relief. It takes them to the height. It brings out their sexual prowessness. They love it. Cutting, choking, beatings, and it's really very, very serious where these narcissists can go. And when you are with an inverted narcissist, a lot of times the narcissist will tell you about yourself, because some of you don't even know that I'm different. You notice you were different from since a teenager. You notice that your emotions was different. You know that you wasn't affected like a lot of people get affected by different situations, different problems. You notice that problems could occur to you, and you just don't go into the emotional extremities as a lot of people go. It seemed like some things were days by you. You was able to heal quickly of a lot of hurts, and you're wondering, I'm different. I don't respond the same. I don't act the same. You could be a narcissist that is coming into light or into view with who you are. You may notice that you have a particular influence in the atmosphere, a particular influence over people. Even people who don't like you, that hang around you, end up liking you, or whether they like you or not, they end up adjusting themselves to your presence, accommodating themselves to your presence. And what they didn't like about you, they soon excuse about you. You was horrible, and now you're not so bad. Because a lot of narcissists, especially when you're growing, when you have children that are narcissists, about 15 to 18, they start coming into view. Except those who are really active in relationship, they may come into an enlightenment a little bit earlier. Well, these narcissists are drawn by the inverted narcissist. If you notice, you had a friend that as a teenager, and this friend always, they wanted to drink heavy, smoke heavy, they wanted to go wreck a car, they wanted to kill an animal, and just the enlightenment of that pain on that animal will arouse them. They cut, they abuse themselves, and they jump off of walls, they jump off of building, they got broken bones, they got broken legs, and that is their history. And they seem to go back and do the same thing. They don't learn from the lesson. A lot of times these are inverted narcissists, and you go to their home, and their home is a disarray. The father can be a molester, the mother can be an alcoholic or drug addict, or the father's a narcissist violating the mom, or they have been violated, male or female. It doesn't matter, because every person, the male now is 1 to 5. So the males are being just as violated as much as some of the females. And so when they get into this parameter, or if it is a repetitive cycle, where there is a malignant narcissist or covert narcissist or psychopath, psychological narcissist, whatever narcissist they are, the introvert narcissist, it was in the house, and the mom probably submit to the narcissist unless the mom was the dominant factor. The dominant factor, the invert, always submit and surrender their will to that narcissist. And so when the mom would see the child molested, would see the child violated, and that mom is an inverted narcissist, and the child is screaming, fighting, that turns the person on. So the mom or the dad don't do anything with the abuse of the child. They allowed it to happen. They permit it to happen because the invert need the pain. The invert needs to be possessive. The empath they always rescue. They run to your rescue. The inverted don't want to be rescued. They want to be hurt. They want to be manipulated. They want pain. And some of them don't even know how or why they got to this point. And many of them, with the atrocities that happen in their house, will literally melt your heart toward them. But they are still self-centered. When they are being abused, when they are being violated, they still have themselves on their mind. Everything they do is still for them. The narcissist is just being used. And they use this narcissist until the flavor of the pain leaves, or the narcissist is growing bored with them. Because the narcissist is saying, I need new supply. I need another level that's going to advance me. I need something else. And so they want to leave. And the invert will do everything they can to hold that narcissist hostages. Remember, the narcissist, like a vampire, need blood. They need fuel, and you can't keep their attention. Their attention keep just going off. They are low attention span. They need to frequent what they need to mirror, because the narcissists also want to grow, and the only way they can grow is to mirror other people, and then they know what they should be. And so this invert, once the narcissist stop supplying their need, they leave. They leave and go get other supply for themselves. And remember, most of them are extremely cerebral, so they can do their mindset is awesome. They can comprise, they can strategize, and they will strategize their pain. They usually have order. If they're 4 o'clock, they hang from the hooks. At 6 o'clock, they may cut themselves. At 8 o'clock, they may jump from the stairs. If there's nobody to do it, and there's always some conflict, they like you, or they'll start an argument just so you can scream at them, and you can get so angry at them, and so you start devaluating them. You start gaslighting them, accusing them, because this is narcissist. A narcissist is going to do what a narcissist is going to do. So the inverted narcissist is your cerebral narcissist. Your inverted narcissist requires pain more than just a regular narcissist. No, the regular narcissist don't want to jump from stairs, jump out of cars, be beaten or cut. They leave up out of there because they supposed to do that and not have it done unless you're an inverted narcissist. Then you want it done. That is your supply. That is your ultimate treatment. That is your expectation. And those teenagers, a lot of them, cannibalism, it's just crazy things that they go through. A lot of them live with prostitutes to beat them, to abuse them, to violate their genitals, to burn them, to cut them. Anything your mind don't need to think of, they will go there. They are high risk takers. They can bear pain to the extreme. As a matter of fact, their pain is their health. They think they're healthy when they're accruing this pain to themselves. And I mean, you're screaming, you're hollering, and you think, oh my God, I can't take this. I have to leave. If you're not a narcissist, but don't be concerned, because if you're not a narcissist, they're not going to stay long. You can't handle the invert. You can't handle their levels of extremities and their level of intelligence. They lie. They live in a fantasy. They escape reality. And many of them have got so bad now they can't hold a job. And so they have deemed them as having mental retardation or some kind of mental illness, because most psychiatrists and doctors don't understand narcissism. They don't understand this personality disorder. And then when you get a introvert narcissists that won't eat, won't bathe, and they sit there and they look emaciated, and they're smelling, and they got cuts all over them. A lot of the doctors just put them in an institution because they don't know what to do with them. To leave them to themselves are dangerous. To put them with other people are dangerous, because they like the screams in the night. They love the hollering in the day. They love the twisted winds, the foul air. You name it, they love it, because they want to punish themselves, because more than likely that's the way they grew up, being punished just for being human. And when a child is 5, 3, 4, and they're being punished, and they're being viciously raped, and they're looking for the mom, or they're looking for the dad to help, and these are the predators, these are the one that is hurting them, well, a lot of people are left without options. So those of you who are asking, can a narcissist marry another narcissist? Yes. Can a narcissist have a relationship with a narcissist? Yes. Can a narcissist abuse another narcissist? Of course it's going to happen. It's part of the relationship. It's part of the pain. It's part of what they do. It's part of what they suspect. It's part of their expectation. It's what they do. If you notice your child is constantly abusing themselves, and they seem to be careless, they live in a fantasy world, and they draw all of these people to them as teenagers that hurt them, and they don't see anything wrong with it. And no matter how you talk to them, they go back to the same thing. You need a narcissist specialist. You need a psychiatrist, a psychologist. You need a therapist. You need a counselor that specializes in NPD, and talk to them about the inverted narcissist. Not in their medical manual. It's not in the manual, the DSM. It's not in there, but it exists. These narcissists, there's evidence of them existing. And a lot of people, they are not actually covert. You can't just stigmatize them as a covert narcissist. And you know, they have some sociopathic tendency, some of them even some psychopathic tendencies, but you can't quite put your finger on it because there's distinctive. Narcissists don't like for you to give them pain. Narcissists like to be the administrator of pain. So the inverted narcissists usually like to be to themselves, because the way they think, they know they're different. They don't like crowds or a situation that they can't manipulate on hand and keep within a certain perimeter. And they don't like, you're not going to find them with a lot of relationships. And they're very meticulous. They're very controlling. They're very dominant. They're stalkers. And they clone themselves after other people. They would mimic other people to the point you would know that something is strange here. And so when you go into a place, they usually go into a corner. They observe the room, and they end up with the people that are cussing. They end up with the people that are drinking. They end up with the people that are gossiping. They end up, because they need hurt. Even if they can't get the fuel for themselves to hurt them, the hurting of someone else, they take and absorb that. That become thought fuel, that become feel fuel, because it's not that they have love feelings, they have understanding how certain things work, and they can manipulate and they can gear through life through understanding, and not because they're empathetic, sympathetic. They don't have it. That's why they can see you hurt and they are turned on by it. They're not turned off. And when you cry out for help, they don't want you to get the help, because they want to see the results of the process of where that pain is going to take you. And the longer they are with the narcissist and they start getting into the narcissist, they elevate the narcissist until most of them, a lot of them, end up with psychopaths or sociopaths. And these are very dangerous, especially a psychopath, because they are born with all of these malfunctioning elements in their life, where the social path is a result of environment and exposure. And so now this inverted narcissist, which a lot of them get, they die in the suffering because something in them drives that narcissist to go up higher in the extremity of abuse. And they keep driving that narcissist. And the narcissist that may not have been violent find pleasure in seeing them suffering because the narcissist needs pain. And this is a total different level of pain until they absorb that. And they find they want more and more and more pain. To a lot of inverts, they die. They die from the pain. They die from the abuse. Now they don't exist anymore. And the stronger narcissists, whether they're covert, malignant, whether they're sociopath, whether they are cerebral, it doesn't matter what the narcissist, what grade, what class they are, what depth of operation they are. The narcissists absorb pain, and they recognize that pain. It becomes water for them, food for them. A narcissist cannot live without your pain. And this is why you're asking the question, how can they love me and they hurt me? They don't. The inverted narcissists don't even have a problem with you loving them, because they don't either. They don't know how. They're hidden within themselves from a lot of pain that they've went through. So the inverted narcissist in a normal relationship won't work. They will burn you out. They will dry you out. They will drain you out until you think the regular person start thinking something is mentally wrong with them. Because why do I always want to hurt? They're pulling that out of you to want to hurt them, to want to violate. You come home, there's no peace. They got to have a stimulus. So they start an argument, and then they may even fight, and then they make themselves vulnerable so they can lose the fight, so you can beat them. Can you imagine a woman beating her husband because he hit you, and you're getting reflective, you're just fighting back, and then you find that he balls up in the fetal position, and he just because of what's given them. Narcissists, that inverted narcissist, a lot of times in adoption homes, orphanage, prisons, get the pain, or they need to be around the pain. If they can't get it, they want to hear it. If they can't hear it, they want to see it. You will find them absorbing horror movies left and right. Killing. The more blood in the movies, the more they absorb the movies. They like to get out in the freeways when there's an accident. They are slow, and it's almost like they are fascinated by the hurt, the pain, and you're looking at them, and they can be pretty scary because you haven't had a person like this. The inverted narcissist can be psychopathic, where they self-inflict. The inverted narcissist. If you find that this narcissist that you with always provoke you to anger, and the anger is enough, they provoke you to rage. The rage is enough, they provoke you to a reactionary. You have to do something. You probably need to reconsider where you are. You need to really have some great strategic plans on your location, your mindset, your child. Because to have children by invert narcissists, the kids will go through pain. Some of them may even die because they have to sneak and do what they do, and then they have to blame somebody else. If you notice strange behavior, bruises, pain, the child acting different, do not ignore this. If you're able to be with an inverted narcissist, on a long period of time where you're able to handle them, maybe you need to look up the attributes of a narcissist because that's what they're drawn to and that's what they prefer. I hope that you have enjoyed this segment on this video. Please like and share the page and subscribe. Subscribe to this video, and when I do other videos, you will be sure to get the alert, especially those of you who wanted to know about the inverted narcissist. And you can listen up because it won't be long before I do the part 2. Please comment in the box below. Let me know how you've enjoyed this video. Like and share the page, and please subscribe. I am Helen Statler. I am your destiny helper. I will see you on the next video.